Hey everybody, welcome to Rambling Film Group. This is Cy. Today we're going to be doing a news episode, but before we get too far into it, do want to welcome and introduce you all to my lovely co-hosts. Right here we have the founder, the numero uno of RFG, Mr. Chuck.
Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in.
That was quick and simple. Normally he rambles a little bit, which is why I kind of paused for a second.
I say something.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, damn, that was short. And then you paused and you're like waiting for it to continue. And I really thought the same thing. I was like, dang, that was quick.
That seemed like the right amount of things to say.
It was the right amount. It's just normally you go on a little bit.
But hey, it's okay. But we got a third co-host, the cat. Wait, was that the cat or was it one of the dogs?
Old man.
What'd you say?
Was that the cat or was it one of the dogs?
That was the cat, yeah.
All right. And then my absolute favorite co-host, she's the number one person on the show. The reason why you guys watch is Kelsey.
No. Hey guys, I'm the number one co-host. You were the number one starter.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let's get the distinction right.
Yeah, all right.
First of all, without you, Chuck, we wouldn't have her. So, you can take a little bit of credit.
That's true. But yeah. I feel like I was going to say something else, but it's left me.
I don't know.
All right. So, yeah, today's a news episode. Just so you guys know right off the bat, we will probably be doing, because we know it's been a while since we've done a movie review episode, but it's towards the end of summer. Not much has kind of come out that feels worthy of talking about, but probably in the next couple of days, we'll definitely do BlacKkKlansman. We might do Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you guys see this and you want us to do Ant-Man and the Wasp, let us know. We'll definitely get that out there to you guys. But BlacKkKlansman is definitely coming your guys' way within the next week or so. But let's go ahead and get this started, you guys. The first news topic that we got going on is, let me scroll up a little bit. Looks like Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth are both exiting Star Trek. If nothing's official yet, but it does look like there's not much that it's Paramount, right? That's the studio?
Yeah, Paramount.
That Paramount can do to really stop this ball from getting down the track. So what are your guys' thoughts on that one?
Should I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, excuse me. Basically, it's coming down to what most things comes down to, and that's money. Yeah, I think Pine just recently redid his deal to continue, but for Hemsworth in particular, when he originally had his appearance in these movies, it was in the first one, and as before he was a big star.
Yeah,
I can't think of who
he's just in the prologue.
Yeah,
he's Kirk's father.
Yeah,
he's in the prologue.
I was thinking, I can't remember him in any
and that
of these
came
ones,
out.
but I've seen them.
That came out around the same time that the first Thor came out too. So he definitely wasn't a household name just yet.
By any means, yeah. And so just the way things work, his career works. They already had an idea, I guess, to kind of use time travel for this next one coming. Even though they've already kind of touched on time travel in the first Star Trek reboot.
A little bit, yeah.
But anyways, it's definitely disappointing if it doesn't work out. For him to not be in there, because they could easily still recast the dad, because he
was
barely
barely
had
in
it.
it, right.
But yeah, that'd been cool to see. And then also, obviously the really big concern is if they lose Chris Pine, because he owns that role. He's very good at this Kirk that he created. Now I'm not gonna act like I'm this Star Trek aficionado that's
You're
or
not?
anything like that.
Man,
Yeah.
I thought you were a Trekkie.
Not so much. I remember what my aversion came from it was my parents used to watch the one with what's his name, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. He's coming back, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. We'll just make a little Star Trek moment. if you are a huge fan, he's coming back to another Star Trek series.
That'll be
coming.
fun.
So
That'll be fun
yeah,
for
that's interesting.
fans and stuff.
It's kind of funny that now he's coming back to Star Trek, and then Mark Hamill came back to Star Wars, both after 30 years. Well, I don't know if Patrick's been away. Has Patrick been away for 30 years, or it's probably close at least.
Close, because like I said, I remember watching it when I was like young, and being like, I don't get any of this.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
No offense, Trekkies.
Imagine the grumpy 4-year-old Charles. I don't get this.
Why do you see me as grumpy?
Because you're grumpy now.
I'm not too
He
grumpy.
wasn't a grumpy kid actually.
Yeah. That's where all my angst set in. Innocence was still there. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Kelsey?
I mean, the same thing. It's gonna the Chris Hemsworth one. That's kind of because he had such a small role that I don't think that one really matters as much. But it's gonna suck to see Chris Pine go. That's I don't know. He's really good, and I feel like the Star Trek movies, at least for me, have been getting better as they go on. I've enjoyed them more and more.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be kind of sucky if he's done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Again, just to kind of agree with what you guys said, definitely the loss of Chris Pine is the major one there. Chris Hemsworth, as much as I would have loved to see him expand on that role, it's not necessary. Obviously, him becoming the bigger actor that he is with the help of Marvel and Thor, I think that's another reason why it kind of is a big hit to lose both of them at the same time. Is just a humongous hit, and especially if they were planning on doing more of a time travel thing. Now it makes you wonder how would they do they have to go back to the drawing board, because you can't really do that with Pine and Hemsworth both out. It just doesn't logically make sense. So, and then as far as the TV Stewart coming back, I hope Trek fans are excited for that. I've heard the new series. It's on CBS All Access. Stuff like that. It gets mixed reviews, but I've heard mostly positive things from it. So hopefully, they continue to roll the ball and put out great content for their fans. I'm definitely when I say I'm a Star Trek fan, it's mostly the new movies that I'm a fan of, not the TV shows, not the old movies. It just wasn't for me. But I am highly interested in people that actually learn the Klingon language. I actually want to sit down and talk to someone that learn that. How do you take the time out to learn a fake language? I would want to know. But that's my feelings on that. I think we all are kind of in the same boat with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I would note was, I think it's as big an issue as it is with their contract disputes, because, unfortunately, the movies have started to trend downward in their box office return. So, it went up from the first movie. So, the reboot was fine. Then they made a lot of money with, or at least a decent amount of money with Into Darkness, and then went back down. Because she loves Benedict Cumberbatch.
I love all three of them.
I do too. Like I said, I feel like movies.
Yeah.
For me, I've enjoyed them more and more.
Yeah, I would agree, but you are correct. The money hasn't really shown that. So.
Which is such a shame, because this last Star Trek movie was so good.
Because I think the biggest box office that's been had with them is Into Darkness, and that was 427 million or something like that, I believe.
I'll take your word for it.
What's that?
I'll take your word for it.
Oh yeah, but obviously I was just saying that's well short of other big franchises Star Wars and
plus.
Marvel
While I
movies,
liked
DC
that one,
movies.
I thought I can remember people not loving, big Star Trek fans not loving the portrayal of Khan as much.
Oh yeah,
the handling of him. So maybe that had a negative impact on the third movie that just came out. People were like, "Nope, that's it. I'm done. You've ruined it for me."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me knowing basically nothing, I'm like, "Wow, these are great."
Yeah, if we have any OG Star Wars, or not, Star Trek fans, and that was in the coffin. If the people I'm talking about, they probably really don't care for our takes on Star Trek right now.
Because you just said the OG Star Wars.
Well, I was just saying overall because we said we haven't really watched it.
Sorry,
we like the newer stuff. So with all those notes and then my little slip up at the end, they're probably done at this point. So
all right, you guys.
Our apologies, Star Trek fans. But yeah. Do we have anything else that we wanted to cover?
That's it for me.
Okay.
Let's see. Next comment. This one, a lot of people have been talking about. It is a interesting thing that the Oscars are doing. They are introducing a new category. I know it's been a very long time since they've done that, at least as far as I know. Especially one that's this big. Supposedly supposed to be this big. It's not like a minor category. But anyway, to get to it, the Oscars will be adding a Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film category. Can I start off with this one?
Yeah,
go.
So, it's quite obvious why they're doing this. They don't want to disrespect Black Panther next year. They can see that backlash coming. My thing is, as a fan of superhero movies, as a fan of movies in general, I feel like the best way to not disrespect it is to give it the credit it's due. Either nominate it for a actual category that people know about. Don't just make up a new category to pacify people. This plays into the era of, everybody gets an award to participate. That way nobody gets offended. But it's, it is stupid. You have to work for these awards. Directors, writers, actors, the studios themselves put a lot of work into this, and the Oscars is the ultimate validation. If you're gonna do something like this, I would have preferred a category for just hero movies in general, as opposed to Outstanding Achievement in Popular Film.
You could have done yourself I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Or they could have done themselves a much better service by just picking their words a lot more carefully. Like Outstanding Achievement in spectacle, or just, I don't know, just something different than just popular.
And especially because we know why they're doing it. Because, in 20 years, that category could mean anything, and so then you're still leaving out superhero movies. It's the most popular movie, like when Avatar 2 comes out. That could still apply now.
I was going to say, here's the thing about the popular film, Outstanding Achievement. What happens when the next Fast and Furious movie breaks some type of all financial record, and they're like, "Wow, wonderful achievement! Right. It's a popular film, and it gets a freaking Oscar!"
Right?
What is happening? Or what are the Transformers?
Yeah.
What is going on? That's just. I think you're right. We all know what it's really gonna be about. So pick your words better.
Especially for this year. If they had introduced it any other year, okay, cool, we may have been able to kind of give it a pass. But the sole purpose this year is it's basically to appease comic book fans, and it's to celebrate either Black Panther or Infinity War. We know that's going to, unless Venom or Aquaman just does something amazing.
Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. That does come out later this year. Unless those three just do something that dwarfs what Black Panther and Infinity War did, we basically know that that's what that category is for. But at this point, I don't understand why we can't just either make a more specific category for movies like that, or just fucking put them in Best Picture of the Year. Or something like that. It's just really aggravating.
Yeah, no, I got you. I feel the same way. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my other point that I've seen some other pundits bring up is that so ABC shows or ABC plays. What's the right word? Sorry, what's the right word? ABC
Airs?
Airs. Thank you. ABC airs the Oscars.
Oh yeah, they do.
Disney owes ABC. Disney is the only major studio that has not gotten, I think, a Best Picture Oscar. Yeah. So I just saw that kind of train of thought theory and everything like that. It's kind of colluded. I feel like a little bit, but
because I saw in terms of the Disney buying Fox. Part of the reason they bought it is Fox last year was nominated for 27 awards at the Oscars. And they won 20, and Disney was awarded for, I think it was 10 or 11, and they won 5 or 6, something like that. So that kind of goes into why part of the reason they're buying Fox as well. I forgot that they air the Oscars, so yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And this is the reason that the government has to weigh in on stuff.
Yeah.
Because stuff like this, it's kind of an issue.
Yeah, between that and then also I think the other reason that they're trying to, add this category is they're trying to appeal to more younger people. They're trying to get more eyes on the telecast.
Than the 70-year-olds
Yeah, and again, the best way to do that is just put the movies in categories that you already have, or like we said with the wording, make it a little bit more specific than popular achievement in popular film.
Yeah. Or just the outstanding achievement. Because like I said, is that what happens if it's just a financial achievement?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything about the quality of the film.
Right. It's a lip service award for sure.
Yeah, I don't want a movie that made a lot of money, but the fans and critics hate to win an Oscar. That shouldn't be what the Oscars are about. But anyway,
I think honestly, it's going to end up being where they're going to play it very fast and loose with what gets nominated. Because I can bet you there will be some things there. I bet you there will still end up being snubs. Because popular, as you're saying, is just so vague that it doesn't mean good. As much superhero movies we get this year. It doesn't mean it's going to be chock. There'll probably be one, maybe two.
I mean,
but it's going to it's their opportunity to I know a movie that I think fits it perfectly is from what it should have been nominated last year is War for the Planet of the Apes. That was a big snub to me, and this is the type of category where they're we didn't give you the attention in the other regular categories, but you can fit in here.
Or I was thinking that about the most recent Wolverine movie. What's it called?
Logan.
Yeah.
Logan.
Yeah.
Something like that should have been nominated for something, anything.
I think it was.
Well, more. It should have. But I feel like that easily could have been contestant over some of the other ones for Best Picture, something like that. Because that was very, very good over some of the other options. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you hinting at a specific movie?
No.
You just have a
face where you're
oh, it's just a bold statement. So.
Well, because I've seen so I feel like the Oscar movies or the nominations that get nominated a lot of time for Best Picture are a lot of times just sometimes really weird movies.
They're the Sundance Festival movies.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily saying that weird movies are bad. I enjoy them so much. I'm just saying that Logan was more of a straightforward, but still very good. But I don't know if it would have been nominated for that because it wasn't more indie or, you know what I mean? Something like that. That's what I'm saying.
I would agree with that.
But your face over here is ooh.
I'm just interested.
And speaking about snubs, if you think this year is going to be bad, next year is going to be terrible. 2019 is loaded with superhero movies. There's the Aladdin live action movie. There's just a ton of stuff
that comes. Lion King live action movie.
Is that due next year?
Yeah.
2019, July 2019. I know because I won't be able to see it because I'll be taking the freaking bar.
So next year is going to be even worse with this very vague category that they're giving it. So yeah, we'll have to see, but we can rant about this, forever. So, let's see.
All right, yeah, I think next we got a few DC topics.
Yeah, we'll try not to, bite people's ears off with this, but let's see what we got. Next is Black Mask villain will be in Birds of Prey / WB looking to cast biracial actress for Black Canary.
Anybody got their first thoughts? Anybody want to jump on it?
No.
All right, I'll jump on
Go
it.
for it.
It's really cool that we're going to see Black Mask.
Yeah.
I figured we'd probably see him in a Batman movie before we see him
Yeah.
in anything else. But yeah, I'm just happy to see him. He's a pretty cool villain. It's interesting. I like stories that involve just that. It's just simple, straightforward. Crime underbelly that the heroes are trying to.
Kingpin. Good old-fashioned Kingpin.
Yeah. That's what made the first season of Daredevil so great.
Indeed. 100%, that is accurate.
So yeah, I'm happy that the Birds of Prey will be staying in that kind of vibe. That's the kind of vibe Suicide Squad should have had, in my opinion. Not the whole fantastical thing. Not necessary. The only fantastical thing I would want out of a Suicide Squad movie is if they're going against like government created super soldiers, something like that.
Okay,
that's as much. Oh, sorry. Yes. So yeah, I'm ready to
Thanks,
see.
Kelsey.
What's that?
No,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My bad, everybody. It's my wheelhouse, so yeah. But I'm excited. I'm wondering like how they're gonna do the why can't I think today? But the makeup, the practical effects, or when they try to opt for CGI, you feel like you definitely shouldn't have to. I feel like they definitely should be able to take care of it with practical effects. And then the other thing is, like I said, I've had no issue with like cast whoever fits your vision and whoever is going to be a great job in the role. So if it's interesting if they're specifically looking to cast a biracial actress. That's just interesting. I wouldn't have a problem if they just cast one. But I am interested like what that could mean for their story if they specifically have in mind. I mean, it could be as simple as just let's keep getting more color in here. But yeah, I'm curious why it's like kind of out there that they're specifically looking for a biracial actress. But I'm all for it. I mean, the biggest thing about Black Canary is that she's generally a blonde, and I mean that's again very easy to take care of.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really interested in seeing Black Mask. I'm curious who they're gonna pick to portray him, because he's kind of a psycho. Like he's not as psycho as Joker. Obviously, I don't think anybody except for Harley could match that psycho. But if you think about oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Who's the villain first season of Daredevil?
For which is Daredevil?
First season.
First season.
Kingpin?
Thank you. Think of like a thin Kingpin who definitely is not mentally stable and he's willing to show it. That is Black Mask.
Yeah.
And then as far as the biracial casting of Black Canary, as long as the actress does a good job, as long as the writing is good, as long as the director is great, I could care less. Somebody mentioned in talks of other characters and whitewashing and stuff, it sounds weird to say this, but it is true. Like, it's a problem when you take characters that are of color and change them to white. It's not really an issue when you take white characters and and change them to colored characters, because there's a ton of white people on TV anyway. Like, it's not white people don't really have to worry about if they're gonna go a day without seeing somebody on TV that looks like them. Like, bro, you're guaranteed a spot on that. I'm sorry, but there are tons of people of color who hardly ever see anyone that represents them in exactly how they are, and especially not put in a negative light. So people need to kind of get over white characters being portrayed as people of color. It's just not an issue anymore, and you're an idiot if it is an issue.
I'm so sorry. Just to add on to it real quick, one thing. I don't know. I'm sorry. I use my hands a lot. But one thing to add on to that train of thought, because I could imagine seeing somebody get up in arms over what you have to say. But just to clarify it further, it's you just have to reason through and think about the characters and their origins and everything. Generally speaking, the characters of color, because they have been such a status symbol and an effort to create representation, their identity,
I'm sorry. I think what you're trying to say is, them being a person of color is part of their story. A white character, them being white has really nothing to do with their story and who they are.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. I was just saying, because it'd be so for we have stuff about Mulan, the live action Mulan. If they were to cast a white person in the live action Mulan, that's clearly an issue.
Yes.
Now, on the other side, I said earlier, I was upset when Jason Momoa was cast as Aquaman, who's typically white. But that wasn't because it was Jason Momoa, it's because his whiteness is actually very relevant to his kingdom and, the Atlanteans. So when it's something like that, which kind of goes along with what you're saying, him being blonde-haired and blue-eyed, wasn't about him being blonde-haired and blue-eyed, it's relevant in that he has to face all kinds of people that don't look like him now. And so something like that, I'm but they ended up, it's all going to be fine. So that's fine.
Because they're
still, what you were saying.
Because Aquaman is still doing that, where he doesn't look like the average Atlantean.
Right.
They're just not being subtle about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's good. But that was going with what I was saying was the whiteness for Black Canary doesn't have anything to do with her story. She just happens to be blonde. Which, if that's the case, why can't she just happen to be biracial? That's the thing. Is there's some on both sides. For the white characters, something where it's important to them, the Aquaman stuff that happens. But if you keep the fundamental struggle with the characters, then it shouldn't matter what they look like at all. So it should be fine. And I think that's a very important distinction to recognize, so nobody gets all fussy. Yeah. I don't want to hear them getting fussy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's a weird thing to say that, it's not an issue when white roles are changed to colored, but it is when a colored role is changed to white. It is weird to say, because it does sound like you're being, I guess, prejudiced against white people, but again, when you do dive deeper into the fact that their coloredness is a huge part of their character, I feel like that should clear things up a little bit as to why it's a problem.
The people we'd want to be watching and want to have conversation with and interact with, they will understand what we're talking about. The other ignorant aspect that cannot get what we're saying, that's not people that we want to be breaking our back to be in an understanding with anyway.
That's true. And another thing, it's the same thing with women. Women characters, a big part of their character is the fact that they are a woman. So, gender bending them is a little bit different than when you make a male character a woman. So it's a full circle type of thing. But do you guys have anything else to add to that subject?
I don't think so. We dove way further into it than I thought we would.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been a little deep lately.
Good conversation to have. I was just simply saying,
it is good because you're right. Somebody out there is going to say something, be like, okay, wait. So now we are whitewashing is such an issue, but here you are, because I guarantee somebody will/has said that, and it's no, there's a very, very, very different things going on here.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of the Rambling Film Group. Again, my name is Sai. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube page. It's a little late. That's why Chuck is over there yawning. I hope that you didn't start yawning because of that. Also, we have the Facebook page. Definitely hit us up there. Give us suggestions on what you guys would like to have us talk about, what movies you guys would like to have us review. And if you also want to come on every once in a while and discuss with us, we're more than open to that as well. But again, my name is Cy, here with Chuck and the lovely Kelsey. Just wanting to wish everybody a great rest of their day whenever you're watching this, great rest of your week, and thank you so much for watching.
Bye,
guys. Till next time.
All right, so that's that.